I'm here in Paris at the wine bar Le Colonne together with Stefan. Stefan, who today runs the ONVV in Moldova. It's 5 years or maybe 6 years since I was in Moldova. What's happened in the wines industry, wine scene lately in Moldova?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for seeing. It's true, 5 years since we've been in Moldova. It changed a lot. Well, first of all, it changed the COVID. COVID changed a lot. The war in Ukraine changed a lot because the logistics. You know that we were exporting the wines through Odessa port, and this affected the wine sector. Not just the wine sector, the export a lot. So, however, we have huge results from point of view of quality wines, from point of view of promoting a new type of wine. The wineries in Moldova, we see an increase in small producer, an increased point of view number in small producer, and not just number, also increase of medals that the wine producer receive. The share of medals that the small wine producer are receiving is increasing. For example, at Mundus Vini this year, we were the highest, the most awarded country from the East Europe, and this is a huge impact for us because we are competing with, of course, we are competing all around the world, but first of all, we are competing with the wineries, wine country from East of Europe. For the last years, we have 6,500 medals received at the international competition, from which more than 50% are gold medals.
So you said that there was about like 60, 40, 50, 60 wine producers now.
Small.
And small, which means a huge increase in the numbers. So a lot of new initiatives. What kind of things are they focusing on, the new producers?
Well, in fact, the small producers, if you take the share from total, it's almost 30% of all our wineries are small producers. So that's quite significant.
Yeah.
But it's important to mention that beside around 230 wine producers, we have 55,000 vine growers, families that are taking care of the vines, and this is a huge number. So the small producer, they're bringing innovation. They're following the trend, for example, the orange wine, the skin contact. They're following the trend regarding the sparkling. It's a lot of small producers that are producing the sparkling wine. They follow the trends that is increasing the sparkling consumption in the world, and also they're producing rosé wine. The change the trends. Like 5 years ago, it was the consumption more of the red wine. Right now, it's changed to the white wine. And for the small producer, it's, let's say, in a good way, it's easier to follow the trends and to be more proactive and follow the new consumption trends that are around the world.
So when we were there a couple of times before COVID, one of the things which was very interesting with Moldovan wines was the very unusual and very interesting grape varieties, but they represented a very small portion of the total production. Has that developed in any way?
Well, yeah, it's developed from point of view that the state, through the subsidies policy, it's promoting the planting of the local varieties, which are, for example, Feteasca, Alba, Feteasca Neagră, the local varieties, and also the varieties that are selective new varieties. The state is supporting through additional support, financial support for that. And it's true that we see even the medals that we were talking. It's a big share of the medals that are receiving them for our indigenous varieties.
Right.
The surface is not as big as the European one, for sure. The surface, we take in consideration our history in the past, the biggest surface are for the international varieties. But what our wineries are doing, they are having the assemblage, local varieties with international varieties, and here we see potential for presenting our wines, our terroir through this assemblage of local varieties with international varieties.
So how is that received by the international markets?
Yeah, the international market is very curious. We are, let's say, the top of our pyramid, of course, is the indigenous varieties that we are promoting. And when we are promoting, for even during the Vine Expo here in Paris, when we first time we participated this year at Vine Expo, 18 wineries participated under the umbrella Wine of Moldova. Of course, we promoted first of all our indigenous varieties, and even the consumers, local consumers, the French consumers were very curious about tasting the wine. So this is why we came this year with a new motto, and of the Wine of Moldova we call it unexpectedly great. So why? That a lot of persons, when they try our wine, they say, oh, it's unexpectedly good, or say it's unexpectedly great. And we decide, okay, why not take it as our slogan, unexpected great, because it's the feeling of the people that are the consumers that are trying our wine.
So what do you think are the big strengths of Moldovan wines on the export market today?
Yeah, well, the big strength is our terroir, our unicity of local varieties. The big strength is the fact that all the country is living through wine production. As mentioned, we have more than 55,000 owners of vine. So it's during the harvest season, during the process, all the country working in this sector. It's a sector, crucial sector of Wine of Moldova, and through this sector, it's leaving all our auxiliary sector. We call it a strategic sector because also it's involved the production of bottles, the tourism sector, the marketing sector, the HoReCa sector. So it's the wine making Moldova. It's our way of living. So that's why we're saying that this is what we promote. It's also it's running through our blood, the production of wine.
Thank you, Stefan.
Yeah, and one thing, very important thing, is that this year is the first time that we open a representation of Wine of Moldova outside the country. So last week we opened the Wine of Moldova Japan. It's the first representation association. We presented there this association that we created. It is an association of importers of Moldova wine, and there will be we plan to have activities for promoting the wine, for organizing tasting of Moldova wines with the cuisine, Japanese cuisine, and with Moldova cuisine.
So Japan is obviously then one of your key export markets that you're targeting. Which other export markets do you think are the most important?
Yeah,
for
we
you today?
call key markets the markets where we're present for activity, let's say each week. There we have a PR campaign. There we have there we have activities. So our key markets, of course, is European Union. 55% of all our wines we export to European Union.
So our food is coming.
Yep.
So we need to focus on the food now. Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you very much.